The level up. The level up. The level up. The level up. You can follow along with a pad and pen because it's really not that complex what I'm doing right now. All right, here we go. The level up. So many of you heard that we were joking around about the 2.0 version of you. And so here's what's up. A couple months ago, I just noticed that it was going to be 2222222. And so just out of curiosity, I looked to see what day of the week that was. And it ended up being, of course, a Tuesday, which it is tonight. So at that, we decided it is time to level up. Time to intentionally go to the next level. So right here on the screen, what I want to talk about is when was the last time you upgraded your operating system? My friend Nate Davis sent me a great quote. He said, a lot of us laugh at people when they say they're using Microsoft 95. But when we ask people when was the last time you changed your way of being, it might have been something like 1995 or so. So are we, like technology, actually adapting to the new times? But even more importantly, the new information that we know. As we grow, we're going to learn new things. Are we adapting those new things into our lives? And I'll tell you personally, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I know I got to wake up earlier. I know I got to write some more emails. I know I got to work on my social media, but I just never get around to these kind of like flipping the switch of my life change. So the idea was, what if we every once in a while just upgraded to the 2.0 level of where we are right now? So we don't even need to go to 3.0 because we're just going to keep uploading to where we are. So when you see here, it says, what have you been promising yourself that you have not delivered on yet? Is there anything out there that you keep saying year after year, oh, I'm going to get to this or I'm going to get to that, but you keep denying it? I want you to use the 2.0 level up for you to actually commit to doing that. Could you go back to the slides, sir? Thank you. And then next is this. I have these words here are very, very important. And each one of these words can actually be its own level up. But are you ready to choose to commit to constant change? And what constant change means is that in 10 years from now, you might think the stuff that you know now is pretty ridiculous because the way that your mind changed, the new information you have, and things like that. So what my exercise today to do, oh, where's my little turner, is I would like to ask you to level yourself up to your 2.0 version of yourself. And the idea is the 2.0 version of you, there's certain programs that won't even run anymore. Certain habits that won't even function in 2.0 you. And there's also new functions that will only work in 2.0 you. Now, what's so cool about it, and we're going to get to it in a minute, but is that once you start unlocking the 2.0 app, if you will, a whole new world opens up to the possibility. Things you couldn't reach with your 1.0 attitudes, with your 1.0 work ethics, with your 1.0 spiritual. So the first thing we need to figure out is, what is your main function if you are a computer or a human? So this could be a couple things. I have on the list, it's actually 3. So if you're following at home, think about this. What for this year, because it might change, what is your function? So for some people it might be, I need to hustle and work on my business this year. For some people it might be, I need to relax on my business and spend time with my family this year. For some people it might be, I need to serve the community this year. I've got it. So maybe your function is, I'm going to be the best banjo player there is in the world, or I'm going to be my best banjo. So what is your human function? And the thing about the level up is everyone has their own level up direction. Don't even worry about what other people are doing, but what's your main function? Anyone here know their main function? Tanya, what's your main function, may I ask you?
My main function for 2022 is to reintroduce Married to the Ring back to the Delaware community.
I love it. And that just gives you a little surprise what's coming up. The world-renowned Married to the Ring speaker. So you have your focus. All right, let's move on. So now once you know what your robot does, you know what your human goal is now. And has anyone, you don't have to share with us, but are you guys writing down some stuff out there? And hopefully at home you are as well. All right, I'm going to switch to the next slide. So here's just some of those types of goals: educational, personal, financial, social. If you're having trouble thinking of what, because also you probably want to work on a couple things at once. Like I'm working on the business and I'm really working on family right now. I know it's time for me to slow down and spend some time with my family before they all go out to school. All right, so now the next thing, and I'm going to try to speed it up so we get to our next speaker. What old habits of yours will not work with the 2.0 version of you? So right now, what we're asking you to do is write down things that are just done. You're done with them. They do not work anymore. So maybe it is, I'll share you with you mine that's on the sheet actually. I'm trying to become more organized. I'm pretty sloppy. So for me, what doesn't work anymore is I don't leave trash in the car anymore. It's just broken. I can't do that anymore. My body doesn't do that anymore. It could be that simple. It could be as complex as substance use. Many of you know that one of the first things I had to do to even start this journey was stop drinking, because I couldn't do anything until I did that. So think right there, there's 3 things. Write down the habits that you are going to change. Dylan, may you switch back? Now, what new programs are going to be added? What new habits are you going to start doing in the 2.0 you? And by the way, this starts at 10:22 tonight, 22:22 when we ring that bell. You're in. Now, if you don't want to go in now, wait till the next level up, but hopefully you came here ready to level up. So start writing 3 things at least that will be added to the new version of you, things that you will promise. And anyone remember what I said? You have to choose to commit to the constant change. So it can't just be once in a while. All right, next, I want you to write down what is now possible now that you are 2.0. Let's visualize what's happening. And I think on the sheets here, we might even have you can draw that, what that looks like. Maybe you want to draw a picture. What does it look like when you have fully leveled up? Can you go back to that slide for 1 second? You know, I'm in a band with DJ Chubrock. What if we as a band decided to practice twice a month, commit to it, never again? What kind of gigs could we get at that level? That's just a real simple way of looking at it. But again, if we're not ready to commit to that stuff, it's just out there. But if we are ready to commit to it, we can get to it. All right, now here is important. I'm going to finishing up soon, but what's the evidence that it worked? So you need to write down what are signs or symbols that you will see that it worked. So this could be measurable things, like say you're trying to lose weight. Maybe this would be, you know, a measurable weight loss. If you're a musician, maybe it's a song that you haven't been able to learn for years that you're going to promise you're going to be able to learn. But put out a measurable, you know, it's that SMART goal thing. What's the measurable so you can actually see you're doing it? And then the other thing, I'm not going to do the Jamboard tonight because we don't have time, but I want to know, let me see if I have it on here. I don't, but it's in the worksheet. What's going to happen? How are you going to celebrate if you're on the right path and things are happening for you? And how are you going to adjust the paths if you find out that you're not quite succeeding at these things? All right. And then we were going to Jamboard that stuff. We can do that maybe at a later time, but what time have we got right now? 40s. Oh, I think I actually might have time, but we can do that in person. The tool that I wanted to give everyone, which we have kits in the back to make, is the compass. Okay, so you just decided where you want to go, but now we got to make sure that you can get there. So here's a little surprise. Everyone already has the compass at home. And Carrie Brown was the person who taught me this. The compass, my friend, is the mirror. You literally look into your eyes in the mirror and you judge yourself harsher than any other critic. And the idea is that I really do believe that within each of us, there is a deeper spirit that knows where we're supposed to be going. And the thing is it's really hard to listen to that. But if you look into the eyes of yourself and say, I'm looking at the deeper part of me, you just ask, what's the next step? And I'm guaranteeing you, it will tell you what it is. That might say, put down the alcohol. It might say, pick up the pen. It might say, go out into the woods. but everyone has their own way. So that is your compass.
The level up. The level up. The level up. The level up.